Okay then, Cutworm asked me to take a look at some different Volkswagen things and tell him about them. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to start with this Volkswagen trunk. This is a 61 Volkswagen trunk. That's a 64. They're pretty similar. They have this little Volkswagen light on them. They call that the Pope's nose. These early trunks have a sharp edge on the bottom of them, and I think you can see that. Whereas the newer trunks have more of a flat edge on the bottom of them. I'm going to go show you. Anyway, there's my new old bumper. On the convertible here, we have the newer style, and you see how that bottom is rounded off. So even though that's an older, that's a 67, and it has the smaller tail lights and the old style bumpers, it does not have the trunk lid that comes down at that kind of sharper point. We also talked about the slanting headlights as opposed to the other headlights. Those are the old original slanting headlights on the Ugly Stepsister, and the little fender vents, which I always thought was very cool. This one has those. Let's walk out here to the shed, Cutworm, and we're going to talk about Volkswagens. This is the Volkswagen pan, or you could call it a frame. This is basically what makes it go, and you can lift their body right off of that, and if you put something to prop your steering wheel up, you can drive it around, which is something I've been doing around here in the yard. This is the newer type headlight. Here you notice it doesn't slant quite as much, and I've got several sets of fenders around here, and these all take the newer style bumpers, which look like that instead of the older style, which has the little rods on them. This you sent me something from Craigslist with a Super Beetle. A Super Beetle isn't made like this. It has struts. It's almost like a unibody car, and it has struts that go up inside the front end and connect to the body, so it's not the same animal as these other Volkswagens. Some people like the Super Beetles, particularly I don't, just because I like the older style. But there's your motor, there's your transmission, all your stuff that makes it run right here. That's why people take and chop them up and make dune buggies out of them, or tricycles, or what have you, because everything that makes it go is right here. Everything that makes it steer is right up there. And this center track down the middle is pretty much where all the strength is. All these floor parts you can basically cut out and put back in there. Most of your strength is going to be in the outside part. The purple car in there has some bad rusty spots in the back. I'm going to be fixing that. In fact, I got new pans right there that will go in that. Cutworm, if you were closer by, I could fix you up with a lot of Volkswagen stuff, because I got a lot of Volkswagen stuff. There's another one of those trunk lids. The convertible trunk lid is going to have vents in it to let air into it, but that one is kind of chopped off at the bottom like we were talking about. Now what I'm thinking about building when I build mine is using that old trunk lid on it and some old fenders. In fact, I've got the rear fenders that used to be on the Ugly Stepsister. They're rusty, but they're in here, right there. And one of the things that I've thought about doing is making the body and all good and solid, and then putting them rusty fenders right back on there. I might even take the ones that are hanging on the wall around here and cut them down and splice them into some other fenders, and then wind up putting them on that body when I finish it. That's getting me off in kind of another direction. I guess the first thing I need to do is unload that lumber, and I think I'm going to take it up in the top of that shed, put it up there. That way if it snows I can cut it, put it up, even if it's snowing, as long as I can get to the outside of the building. I want to mess around with this some today too. I was talking about the floorboards in the back of here. You can see that they're in there, but they're right rusty, so I've got replacements for those. Those will be coming out and the new ones will be going in. I'm going to pop that window out too. And I'm looking for a front bumper. I found where you can buy one. They're pretty expensive, but I found places where you can buy them, and it might come to a point where I decide to do that. I haven't quite decided on that yet.